Hey, what's up traders? Welcome to the weekly Forex forecast for the 29 November 2022. It's a Tuesday and I'm making the video with a slight delay because there was not update for the CFTC data on the Friday because in the US there was the holidays. So the SEC released the data yesterday. So making the video today and we will see if we can find out something. So this is a dollar index which we will start as usually. Then we will continue with the other major pairs, gold and the Bitcoin. So in my opinion, this price action which had reacted on the 1980s levels here in the past, and it's actually created some significant drop, and in my opinion it looks like a reversal. Let's look to the CFTC data, what we can see in here. So basically not so bullish as before. The longs are heavily dropping, shorts are starting to come into the place. We can see the net positions dropped significantly from the extreme 45. We are now on the 24, so it's like a half drop down, right? So what we are looking for right now, we are in this POC. Let's bring the previous month's highs low, right? So we can see that the previous month low was taken out down here, and now we are reacting in this order block, right? On this daily order block, right? We have this break of the structure, we have the gap here, we have gap here, so it's actually confirming that it's happening. And let's bring the Fibo, and in my opinion this gap in here will be filled, right? So this is in my opinion where the price action is going right now. And here we got the 62% FIB, 50%, and the optimal entry around 70%. So if these two equal lows are not taken out and the price will come into these levels, I would like to be interested to short it in here, right? That would be very nice for me. So that's what I'm looking for. In the short term, yes, there would be opportunity to take a long in here, but I would not be doing it on the dollars. I will show you on the other pair. So this is for the dollar. Okay, so this is a euro, and in my opinion euro is making some bigger pullback, right? So it's confirming my thesis about the dollar, because look at this, we have the break of this previous month's high which was not retested, and I'm expecting the retest in here, and then might some continuation up. Why? Let's go to the CFTC data, and we can see it that the banks are building big longs positions while they reducing their shorts, right? So this is a really big change, right? From 254 shorts to the 116, and almost same opposite from almost only 200k longs to the 239, right? So it's a big change, and in my rules, if we get above a 60%, it's in my opinion start of the trend, right? So right now it's everything very obvious. So when it's starting to get very obvious, the pullback mostly will come, right? So let's go back to the charts, and here is what we can see, right? So who's most likely entering right now on this break, false break? You know, most likely the FOMO traders, the traders who are trying to trade a breakout and trying to catch a flying flying chart, right? So where we are right now, let's see that. So look, we actually had the reaction on this order block. Why order block? Because from here we had the origin of this down move, right? Then the price was in the accumulation for the past few weeks, where we seen this positions being accumulated. Now the price have moved higher, had the reaction. We can see previous week's high was taken out yesterday. Now the price is dropping lower. So where we will probably go, in my opinion, we are going to test this previous month high, and right now I will show you why. Not only because this is a significant level which would be tested, but because as well this is obviously the order block, right? And quite strong one, and it's nested in this bigger one where we have actually the many consecutive candles dropping down, and from then we see this sharp move, right? So in here I would be very interested to trade along as well. If we bring a Fibo, we can see it's a nice 70% pullback from this high, right? So yeah, let's go lower time frame. Let's bring the 1 hour, and in my opinion, so this is where we are going right now to test this previous month high, which has this strong gap in here. So here is, in my opinion, where we are going right now, right? So what was probably happening in here, you know, some traders might enter at short in here after this breakout, you know. So we have the liquidity of all these previous days being taken out on this sharp move after the opening, then price drop lower, then I think here is a potential to take a short-term short in here, right? So in my opinion, the short opportunity is here. So that's for the euro. This is pound, and in my opinion, it's very similar to the euro. So what we get here, we had this huge drop into the 90s, even, I don't know, maybe it was something like a 90s 80 or something like a low. It's actually the lowest low the pound has seen ever, right? Since then, it's quite strongly going up, and if we look to the COT data, we can see that all these shorts are being closed now, right? So we can see that the shorts almost on the half as they've been. So we had like 73% to the shorts, now we are 68, right? Longs slightly growing much, doing not nothing, right? So COT data are not that clear, but in my opinion, if the pullback is coming now, as I see that it's probably coming, because we have reached this POC in here beautifully, and then we're getting this reaction. In my opinion, we are going down to test this level, which is a confluence of the previous month high and this gap, right? So this is where we're probably going, and let's bring the previous week's highs, lows. Okay, I have to put a lower time frame so we can see it more clearly. We have this previous week's highs, low, and here we can see how this previous week's high was taken out already in here. Then price has dropped, you know, then it returns back into the level, you know, and then we have this sharp move down. Right now, pull back again from this last swing, like this, you know, and it's filling this gap, and in my opinion can go much lower. So all right, so next one is Aussie, and again same thing. So we got some accumulation, price has moved higher. If we look to the COT data, but before we go there, I will show you, we broke through this previous month high, right, where we had this accumulation. So what was happening in the COT data? Look at this, shorts being closed right now, longs nothing much yet, right? So but what we got with the net positions, from the -60 to the -42, right? So it's positive, even it's still in the negative numbers, it's getting slightly positive, right? So what to see right now on the charts is this, that we basically have seen this redistribution, and then the price dropped lower, and right now we are back in this level where we have filled this gap, right? So what I'm thinking right now is that we might see some more consolidation here, and then retest at least of this, right, to clean this gap and the previous month high again. Okay, so this is a USDCAD, and USDCAD is, in my opinion, dropping down into this daily order block. So it's just a question of the time until it's come here. So what happened in here? We had the reaction on here where was some weekly order block. We could see that on the more in the history, but I don't have it drawn in here. Then we got this break of the structure. We have this left gap in here, which would be perfect if the price comes here for the bigger short with the target in this daily order block has been set. But right now there is already opportunity. But let me show you later. Right now let's go to the COT data. What we can see is this is a CAD, not USDCAD. This is a CAD, right? So what we can see with the shorts is that they are actually somehow dropping, right? We have 58, 55, then 58, right now 50, 48, right? With the longs nothing happening, but the net positions showing -11, we had the drop from the -21 to the -11. So the net positions going from the negative to the positive, which is positive for the Canadian dollar. So if we come back to the charts, it's positive for the USD-CAD to go down, right? So let me go to the lower time frame, because as said, there is already opportunity, and here is what we can see. The prices make this breakdown, then it come back up into retest previous month's low, and we have taken out the liquidity of the previous day's highs, and as well, let me bring the previous week's high. You see, previous week's high taken out. The price drop back down below it. There is a gaps included in here, right? We have the gaps, we have the gap in here, so this gap was right now filled, and that's the entry, right? So the optimal entry would be, of course, if the price make a pullback at least a 50%. So I will be monitoring this one, because I would be interested to enter the short in here, right? At least the short-term short, because I would like to short in here to might fill this gap, right? So yeah, if I get this pullback, then the short 10 on. Okay, so this is a USDJPY. USDJPY has taken out big liquidity zones here on the top, and in my opinion, we are getting the break of the structure in here. There was a 2 breaks in here, and we have some consolidation in prices going lower to where? Let me bring the previous week's month's high lows. We can see, let me clean it like this, and then in my opinion, this equilibrium, which is a 50% of this previous month here, which is as well confluence with this POC, and as well we have in here the order block. So in my opinion, this is where we are going right now. So what could be beautiful, of course, is if the price come back down into the zone, come back up actually into the zone, sorry. But however, I will be taking a long even from this zone, right? So in my opinion, it's bearish. Let's go to CFTC Data, and we can see that 140k longs, shorts, sorry, for the Japanese yen. This is Japanese yen, not USDJPY. We had 140k, and now we have 95, right? So from a minus 100k net positions down to the 64. So that's a quite significant change, right? That is not longs yet, but definitely profit taking, which will take the price down, right? So looking for the shorts in here, as said, these 2 gaps would be very nice to watch the price action, right? Of course, then you have to go to the lower time frame and would be looking for the previous day's highs lows to be taken out, right? So if how I'm doing it, I can show you actually on this one. What I do is mostly that I highlight this zone. So I will highlight this gap by using this rectangle in here. Then I go lower time frame, right, and I see where is this rectangle, which is actually my gap, my zone where the algos has been trading, and then I got these 2 liquidity zone of the previous day's high. So if the price comes here, then I get the break of the structure, then I'm looking for the pullback, right, and then short, right, in here, and expecting the price to drop, right? So always trying to put everything into the context with the higher time frame and execute on the lower time frame. All right, so this is a gold, and let me bring the weekly, right? So we have this this liquidity zone been taken out, and in here we have seen some accumulation in the CFTC Data. Let me bring it, so we can see that basically the big large speculators has closed multiple of the shorts, and right now you can see, boom, in the 4 weeks they dropped almost something like a 60k of the shorts positions, right? So we can see that the net positions went from the 68 to the 126, 116, right? So it's quite high, quite big change, and if we put it into the context that it's actually happening in here, right, where we had actually this huge order block in here, right, and we dipped into this liquidity in here, and then we're getting this break of the structure of this month high, I will show you this previous month. We can see we have this break of this. After this accumulation, in my opinion, the gold can go higher. So here's actually this thing which I wanted to show you, and I told you to remember from the euro, pound and Aussie. So let me bring back the euro, and here is what I wanted you to remember, this previous month high, right? As I said that in here we might get the retest and up move, right? Because this breakout is included with this strong candle, right? Same thing on the pound, right? Strong candle breaking it up, right? On the Aussie as well, very strong breakup, right? So in here, as I said, I would be expecting the retest of this gap and this level and the continuation higher. And right now, let's go to the gold. And here is the gold, here is the case. So watch it. We have the previous month high. Look at this break. Right, perfect. This was like a amazing breakout. Then we have seen the price has dropped lower, and now let me show you what they did in here. We can see here is a previous day's low, and then the price dipped below it, and there was as well the previous week's low. Let me show you here. So we had this previous week's low in here. Here was the previous week's low, right? So we have the break, right? Break of the previous day's week's low in here, that was previous week's low, was broken, and that day that broke it, that was a liquidity, right? So in here then we got just this this violation and then breakout. After this breakout, we can see where was this accumulation in this consecutive candles in this order block. Now the price is going higher, right? So this is actually a similar thing which I am expecting to happen on the euro when it comes back down here, on the pound, maybe on the Aussie, right? It all looks like similar. We have the previous month high breakout confirmed with the CFTC data, and the price action is showing that that would be very positive. So the price action which is happening on the gold right now would be followed. Okay, so this is a Bitcoin, and here is a quite different story. So what I think is going on in here, I have actually explained it in the last 3 weeks, but still not much happening, right? So we are now below the previous month low. We are below this liquidity zone, right? So it could be actually the low, but in my opinion, this is still the levels that could be visited. These 12k, this order block, right, which is still not mitigated. So I'm still expecting one more drop on the Bitcoin, and then I would start to be buying again, right? So how it could be played out, we have the FOMC this week, so it could go slightly higher, and then we could see that drop. So if the price comes down here, I will be buying hard and hold for the next years, at least 3-4 years, you know, then sell some again, and then we'll be rebuying again, right? If we check CFTC data, I'm always saying it doesn't say too much, but we can see there is some longs coming, right? You can see from 10k to the 14k, and from 8k to the 14k, right? So it's quite actually, you know, I think it's interesting in these prices, and if you mean it with the long term with the Bitcoin, this is definitely good prices to be buying below this, between the 12k. All right, you know, I don't want to give financial advices, but that's just my view, and that's it. All right, my friends, so if you like the video, please subscribe and hit the like button, and yeah, wish you have a great trading week. Bye bye.